Namaste. So, family is Sky Goddess, and this is an annual forecast for the fire signs Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Some changes that um, the fire signs can expect to see will take place in regards primarily to your finances, whether this is changes, concerns, losses and gains, inheritances. Sub-frequency being influenced here um, is, of course, your own frequencies, your movements, your passions, your aggression or assertiveness, okay, or actions and inability to take actions. So, let me begin with Aries. So, Aries, for you, more than the other earth signs, your workplace, your job, that is your, permanent, semi-permanent job will be, affected this year more than any other sign. Your wealth too, and your reputation too will be changed, because that's the frequency that is in your second house. And the second house is being, which is, the frequency of the ox is being heavily influenced by the Leo frequency. And Leo is change. Is change, just like Aquarius. The difference between these changes is that one is sudden, unexpected, and one is timely and somewhat expected. And so, therefore, these changes that are taking place, within the second year of this 12-year cycle are expected, because that moon in Aries frequency and the pandemic has triggered a ripple effect, a butterfly effect. And this will ripple all the way down through to the 12th year in 2031. Yeah, 2031. And after which a new 12-year cycle will begin of new concerns. But within that 12-year cycle, which will be the third 12-year cycle, um, there is going to be a form of continuation in the frequency of a finale. Okay, not a finale to the human race, but to the prime lesson that is being taught here. So school is in session, and we are being taught a lesson. We have been, in school, and we will continue to be in school, because life is school. Life is learning, okay? Life is that Sagittarius frequency. So your reputation, Aries, it's going to change, okay? As well as your concepts of wealth, what it means to be wealthy, um, the various ways and means of attaining wealth. And, it makes sense, because what is happening here is a complete transformation of humanity. Let me just say that. Okay, so after this 12 years, we can expect that nothing will be the same again. Our thoughts, our values, how we talk, literally, how we feel and process our emotions, how we project ourselves, how and what we think about, what contracts we associate ourselves with. Um, Death will be different, okay? And our perspective on death will transform as well, okay? And enlightenment, okay? We will see things differently, okay? We will desire different things. We will see differently as a transformation is sudden. There's going to be a sudden transformation. This is frequency, is ox frequency 5. Me talking about the changes we can expect in regards to these houses. Okay, so the transformation that is upon us is sudden, and therefore the desires are gonna uh, change suddenly. It's gonna be a sudden, like I said, the standard of beauty will change, and that plays hand in hand with this Pluto Aquarius frequency. A sudden change to what we desire. What is desirous to us? What is appealing to us? And these do change. Okay, whilst everything else changes, these, get thrown into the mix because they too are a part of the mix and they too will get changed. So everything else is changing, values are changing, people are see the value of things differently, and so therefore their desires are going to change. So that's a connection there between the second house and the eighth house. And therefore our vision will change. Okay? And what is wealth for us will change. Okay? What it means to be successful will change. Okay? And the things that we aspire for, our associations, will also change. All right? And lastly but not least, our belief systems will change. The subconscious will be transformed. Okay, so those things that we believe in, that too, like the value systems, have formed the backbone of our lives and societies, you know will change as well. That's the 12th house. So for Capricorn, okay, for some, oh, not Capricorn, Aries, okay, talking about Capricorn in your second house. Some of you will be working with children, okay, whether it is you are, a nanny, or you work at a daycare. For some of you, um, you may have never done this before. You're going to start doing this because that's a change to your workplace, a change to what you do as a job, okay? So this is going to be something that's going to be repetitive. This is something that is going to be somewhat long term or semi long term. You working with children. Or, you could also be a pediatrician. Codependencies will change. For some of you, I see where some of you will adopt new addictions. Okay, for some of you, this will just be a form of transformation. A transformation um, from one form of addiction to a different form of addiction. For some of you, this year marks the completion of, a work that you were, doing. Okay, this isn't something that was contractual, but I'm seeing that coming to an end this year. The cycle for that ends this year. For some of you, I'm seeing the loss here of, you know, a job. For some of you, your reputation will take a blow. For some of you, your wealth will take a blow. For some of you, and this is expected, people. But it says here, right here in the data, that that's what's going to happen. And if you look closely, you will see the connection. And it is not far-fetched. And so some of you will be losing your businesses. Okay, that's that Capricorn in the second house. Some of you will be acquiring new businesses, companies this year, or launch your company this year. Okay, your company is going to go global this year. For some of you, Aries, I'm seeing where some of you will have to walk a lot this year for whatever reason. This could be damage to your vehicle or whatnot. For some of you, you will lose a very valuable piece of equipment. This could be something that you use on your job or at your job. For some of you, you are Aries, along with Virgo and Libra. You are very cerebral, very thoughtful, not in a humanitarian sense. Yes, too, for some of you, but in the sense of having a very active mind. So you guys think a lot, okay? And therefore you're prone to, you Aries, to headaches, migraine headaches, and mental anguish. Okay, I'm seeing some of that for you this year in regards to your wealth and your reputation. Some of you will be traveling for work. Okay, some of you will be traveling this year by yourself for work. Thinking a lot about work. That's what I'm getting for you, Aries. Thinking a lot about work. Also, for some of you, you may lose a child or someone who was dependent upon you. Okay, this year. Also, this could be a toxic spouse, someone who, could be an ex-spouse of yours, or this could also be someone who, you have been separated from. Or this could also be someone who was very abusive to you. I'm seeing you will be losing them this year. This could be due to codependencies, addictions, bad habits, as well as this could also mean death. Not seeing really that. I'm seeing more like bad habits. So this is like a divorce. Oh, yeah, Spirit was saying that, this, you some of you could also receive a form of inheritance. So some of you can expect wealth this year in the form of inheritance. And this could be from the death of a mother, or like I said, a child, or a spouse. But of course, this can be someone who you're separated from. Okay? but this is someone who you shared a home with. Okay, so I'm seeing a transition of someone that you live with or someone you lived with. Okay, so some of you Aries can expect an inheritance this year. Some of you will be traveling to see your child this year, or some of you will be traveling to see a Leo this year. As well as Aries, for those who will be losing someone, this could be someone who's got Capricorn highly aspected or a Capricorn sun. Okay? Sun sign. Some of you will, be attending the funeral of uh, a child this year, your child. Some of you could be traveling to a country that is, black dominant. Some of you, you're going to travel to see your mistress this year. Some of you is your child. Some of you will see someone transition this year, as in die, as well as, taking their place on stage. A lot of daytime travel. Another energy that, is taking prime focus this year is Scorpio, because Scorpio is in the fifth house, as well as the 11th house, that's Uranus. That's where Taurus is. And literally, Uranus is currently transiting the frequency of Taurus. So a lot of the work that we do is going to be, done with friends, associates. That's how a lot of people are going to be making their monies. It's going to also be in the science field. It's going to also be knowledge based. So this is a period of literacy, in other words, because Aquarius is um, a master scholar. They live at ease, um, observing, studying, and thinking. So they're the scientists. They want to know. And, they are I know, therefore I am. So a lot, or Taurus frequency is there, okay? And, or rather, it is in our Taurus frequency, okay? So therefore, there's a transformation, sudden transformation to our passions and our desires. That's a prime focus for this 12-year cycle. So jobs, what? Let me not say jobs, Capricorn frequency, or work, okay, or work life. It's being transformed and strongly influenced by Uranus's frequency, which is science and technology, and taboo things, and astrology, which is still science, just to be specific. But you know, Aquarius is an accurate astrologer. They know a lot about the cosmos and the transits of the planets and the stars. It's easy for them to understand and grasp because they are thinkers, and thinkers are floaters, and floaters are above. in the cosmos. You feel me? So a lot of what we do for work this year is gonna entail us using what we know. Okay, so if you don't know anything, I'm sorry for you. But there's going to also it is time for a transformation of your um, subconscious areas, what you believe in, or this could be the death of what you believe in, okay, or dying from or for what you believe in. So this could be an end for you as well, or it could just be an end to your faith, whatever it is that you believe in. It could just be it being transformed. Okay, this could be a form of ascension for you. Though I think that would be more Neptune and Sag, 12th house Sag. But a transformation. Okay, so for some of you who wants, let's say you're a Christian, you're not going to be Christian at the end of the year. I'm telling you. Okay, so let me just say that. Because we are in the age of science and technology. It's not the age of Pisces that is all about believing and desperately trying to find something to believe in, even if it makes no sense. This is the age of, it's an Aries sign, but it has that stability to it, like Virgo. And therefore, anything that doesn't have a solid ground will get demolished. And that's why I always say that though Aquarius is a fixed sign, it's not so fixed after all, because Aquarians are not loyal to a fault. Once they realize that something doesn't make sense, they move on. So let's say, for example, you're part of a religious sect. You're an Aquarian, you're part of that sect. You realize that, first you thought, you could resonate, or you resonated with this sect. You realize, there are certain doctrines and uh, norms and what's traditional for them that you do not synchronize with, you do not resonate with. And so you see that it doesn't make any sense, because whatever you resonate with has to make sense and has to benefit everyone, not just you, because you're not selfish, and not just the other person, because you're not that selfless. Okay? You love yourself and you love others, and that's why, Aquarius is the humanitarian. So things that don't serve everyone, the, the whole tribe, for the greater good. Aquarians are not down with that, and we've seen how religions have destroyed, every area and aspect of the systems around us that's supposed to aid and support us. So a transformation for you, Aries, in terms of um, your subconscious, whatever it is that you believe in. Some of you could be remembering things, forgetting things this year. Okay, some of you could be, developing early onset of Alzheimer's, or some other neurological disease. Okay, that's a disease of the brain. It's as though it eats away at your brain matter. And without brain matter, the brain matter is at the hard disk that the information is written on. Okay, though you cannot see the specific information. These informations are written, um, I guess, probably through electrical waves, definitely, because everything is frequency waves, energies, and currents. So a transformation there in your subconscious. Okay, moving on to uh yeah, I feel like some of you are gonna become spiritual this year, not religious. There is a difference between spirituality and um religions. Okay, so spirituality has to deal with oneself and their spirit. Religion that has to deal with you and an entity that is outside of you. So there is a major difference. Moving on to the frequency of Leo. Changes for the frequency of Leo. Okay, so you more than any other frequency will see changes in regards to your norms, traditions, value system, your family. I'm seeing the loss of a grandparent or an elderly member of your family. I'm seeing also loss of prestige, loss of honor for some of you Leos. For some of you, this is the opposite. You gaining or receiving prestige and honor for whatever it is you have done or will do. Um, for some of you Leos, in addition to your family, for some of you, you may be going to live with grandparents, or they might be coming to live with you. So that might be the change to your family system. I see for some of you will have work. Okay, this isn't something that is necessarily continuously repetitive. This is something that, will pop up every now and then, but it is work nonetheless. This could be contract work. I see beauty also for some of you. I see beauty for some of you. Some of you, you will look beautiful this year, ravishing and radiant and so on and so forth. Some of you will have quite the opposite. Some of you will lose your beauty, because let me explain the second house. Everything has a flip to it, an inverse. So the second house, though it is prestige, okay, and old ancient money, okay, stinky money, because it's old. Um, it also represents drought and loss. This is ruled by the goddess Demeter, who lost her daughter, uh, Persephone was her name, to, the god of the underworld, Hades. Okay? So, though she's the earth that is so beautiful, we call her Gaia. That's another aspect of her divinity and uh, characteristics. Okay? But she also, my lip is so dry, serpent. But she also represents loss, and that's the earth. The earth is very balanced, and that's why we can live on it. But we're, humans are so imbalanced that, they, it's like pissing off a woman. It's like you being a man, us being the man, and, the earth, Gaia, being the woman, and, you know, the man pissing off the woman, and, causing her emotions and her frequencies to go wild, and then she becomes a wild bitch or wild cat. you know. And so you got all these freak storms, you've got these earthquakes, you've got, volcanoes, tidal waves, so on and so forth. But that's because we pissed her off. Okay? So she's really balanced. We're the one who fucked her up, or screwed her over. Okay, but she embodies loss and gain, Saturn and Jupiter. She's like smack right in the middle of Saturn and Jupiter. Not literally, but you get the gist. So those, it varies. How am I gonna say, okay, definitely every Leo, you're gonna look beautiful this year? No, that's not the case. Okay? Because for each and every one of you, and this don't necessarily gotta go for Leos from, who are born, July 23 or what 23 to August 23. No. If you were born in the year of the dragon. That's also Leo frequency. This is for you. Okay? So how the hell is everybody born under the dragon frequency, or born July 23 to August 23, gonna have good fortune? Not every Leo is good. Not every Aquarian is good. It's a beautiful frequency, but placements mean everything. Where have you got Aquarius? Is it in a, beautiful aspect, beautifully aspected placement? So the placements, though the frequencies, they tell a story. The placements, they tell a whole different story. Okay? So a moon in Aqua is different from a sun in Aqua. Let me just say that. Any moon in Aqua is, different from an Aquarius rising, or an Aquarius North Node. The placements, they mean everything. Someone who's got Aquarius in their 6th house, that's a nice placement, though it depends. Are you a balanced, synchronized person? For the aspects also to pull on the positive end of their spectrums, because that's another thing. So cycles within cycles, so many things to consider. So we need to be balanced on all levels, on the aspects. I don't think we can change them, as well as in our own bodies, accepting our aspects and working with them and going along with the flow. Then you will subconsciously pull on the positive end of that spectrum. Moving on, for you, Leo, some of you could be, meeting your grandparent, a grandmother, grandfather for the first time this year. For some of you, you will have uh, losses upon losses. Okay. Now, how do you know if the good fortune that I'm speaking of is for you? Well, what kind of seeds did you sow in the cycle prior to this one? And therefore, you will find that you will answer your own question. For some of you, you will be working with an Aquarian, or this could be a foreigner, an alien, someone who's not from where you are. Okay? For some of you, you will be working with a star, someone who's got star quality. For some of you, you will be working with scientists. For some of you, you will be working with humanitarians. You will be doing humanitarian work. You will be a humanitarian, in other words. Okay? So for you, you know, for you and Taurus, Leo, I'm seeing definitely a lot of humanitarian frequencies for both of you. So both of you are being called to be humanitarians this year. It will be very beneficial for you to be in the humanitarian spirit this year, as well as to think more than you speak. I got that for Taurus, I don't really see that for Leo, but that is always advice for everyone. So I'm getting, for some of you Leos, you will be okay, and you will know that you'll be okay because one thing that you will have is work. But for some of you, loss, for sure. I have to put that in because the good message is not for everyone. I'm getting, so for you Leos, every year is like an annual reset for you. You experience a reset. Like, well, Aquarius, their reset is more sudden. Yours take a whole year. And this is a mental and psychological reset. Okay, so for Aquarians, this happens every time they sleep. Every time they sleep and wake up, they have a mental reset, a psychological reset. For Leos, because you're the sun, it takes a whole year for the earth to revolve around the sun. So it takes a whole year for you to have a new beginning, in other words. Okay, Aquarius, that's, the opposite end of your wavelength. This happens way more sudden because that's the frequency of Aquarius. Oh, my legs. And so there's going to be a deep transformation for you Leos. For some of you will be transitioning. That is death of the death of the body. Okay, and this isn't something to feel sad about because this is something that is, promised to all human beings. So I'm seeing the transition here. I'm seeing a transition here. Physical transition for some of you because it is the time. Okay. Along with Sagittarius, you guys got uh divine timing, meaning things happen, when they're supposed to happen or when they're, expected to happen. So this death of yours, you could be expecting this death. You could, be sick right now and know that you are sick and you are, ex- anticipating, your death. But it's a very transformative year for those who are strongly influenced by that Leo frequency. Deep transformation. So if this isn't physical death, this is something that's going to let me see what's in your 12th house. Oh, yeah, obviously. For some of you, this is more like a dark night of the soul. You traversing deep down under. You traversing the realm of Hades, hell. So also for some of you, a deep transformation where your desires are concerned. What it is that you desire, what it is that you truly want. Because desires, they aren't needs, they are more like wants. So what is it that you desperately or so badly want that it feels like you need or necessity? That's going to be transformed this year. For some of you, you will be talking, you will be, I'm getting for some of you confession. Some of you will be confessing here. Could be on your deathbed. Uh, for some of you, um, you're going to be communicating your spiritual beliefs via the internet. You're going to be sharing this with people. You're going to be talking about this with someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a group of people, but this could be you sharing it with someone. This also, I'm getting communication with a Pisces. Okay, you'll be communicating uh, with a Pisces this year. If that means something to you, that most definitely will for some people. I know that this transformation of your desires is going to be very sudden because the eighth house within this 12-year cycle is heavily being impacted by the Aquarius frequency, which is going to be something like you just go to sleep and wake up, and suddenly you don't want that thing anymore. You don't want that person anymore. You want something else. You want someone else. You get me? A strong desire for quick and sudden sex. That's a frequency that some of you will be involved in. Will be in, I should say, this year. Okay, quick and sudden, detached sex. Some of you may be, in this 12-year cycle, people, they are desiring the Aquarius frequency. That's where the desires are right now. There's a lot of changes taking place within and around that frequency, and so it's drawing a lot of attention to that frequency. That, eccentric, taboo, so sudden, unexpected frequency is taking center stage. And rightly so, because everybody wants to know what's going to happen next. I'm helping you guys. I'm helping you. I'm telling you what's going to happen next. So Aquarians are in. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to be the new beauty standard. Well, let me just say that is the new beauty standard. Okay, let me just be honest. Not saying I'm a liar, but I don't want to play favoritism, but if that's where the world is headed, if that's where the frequencies are headed, then I gotta say, okay, so Aquarians are taking center stage. And rightly so, because Aquarius is the scientist. I said that. And the humanitarian. And we need those frequencies now more than ever before, because never ever have, the schools closed down, and, the banks changed up so much that so many of these banks, they've got, a lot of their branches closed down because of inactivity, as well as they're not going to say inactivity, but that too is a part. People are broke, but as well as, the COVID-19 and so on and so forth. But people are broke, and there's a lot of inactivity in the banks. And you mark my words, a lot of these banks, they're gonna close down. Okay, shh. Okay, so people are gonna be, desiring that Aquarius frequency. And about time. We are in the age of Aquarius, and though the attention is upon this frequency, you know, they don't give a damn. I mean, the scientists, they're still working. Scientists, they don't play into uh, publicity and attention like, these singers and dancers, these, celebrities. Scientists, they're the real stars. They're the ones who save humanity, or, who are supposed to, because they're supposed to know. That's that Aquarius frequency. And so, and like I said, also, they are um, superior, intellects, or master students. And so they excel at a lot of things. And we are in that independent, therefore, they are, independent. And we're in that frequency where people are being called to be um, independent, eccentric, which is to be themselves. Okay, people are being called to be innovative, inventors, scientists. Okay, and so there's a strong desire for that frequency. Aquarius, and the desire is going to be there for Aquarius frequency in all forms that the Aquarius frequency presents itself. So this can be for aliens, as well as this can be, for skinny people. It's going to be a time for the skinny people, because Aquarians, they, every frequency has a physique, and the Aquarius physique is one that is slim, slender, not necessarily tall, but they are tall, okay? But the emphasis is on the figure, which is the size, and not so much as the height. So you had an era of what they call fat chicks, then you had that one of thick, fluffy chicks, and it's gonna be an era of slim chicks. Let me just say that. Slim chicks. Hmm? I'm saying it's gonna be an era of slim people. Okay, so slim people are in. Okay. Um, Skin complexion. I don't know if I wanna add a skin complexion to that. Um, because I don't believe the frequencies they really play on the complexions. Some readers, they will tell you yes or no. I think it's more of a mental physique kind of thing. That Aries frequency. Now, when you're thinking about the skin now, you're thinking Capricorn. Okay? Let me see where Capricorn is. Why don't you look at that? Oh. So there will be value placed on skincare in this cycle. Let me just say that. I mean, like, the dark skinned people, they're expecting, a change over in their favor. I don't see much of that. I don't see it. I'm telling you, I have to be honest. I'm a dark skinned person. But I don't, Aquarius, Aquarius, that's cold energy. That's cold frequency. Okay? Some of the readers, they're going to tell you that, that's white people frequency. And that's the black people's fault, because guess what? We're the black scientists. There's some, but there's so few. And so therefore, when you think of the word scientist, you know what comes to mind? White people. And those who, studied medicine, who came before us, they're to blame. Like, why did you study medicine and then become a police officer? You're not even in, the mortician's lab, collecting data, handing over data. You're stuck up in a building, one of them lazy cops, and you got a degree in science or a degree in forensic, and you're not using that. And so, the system is changing, because shit like that don't even make shit in sense. Why do people waste their time, monies, and resources to acquire things, not to use them? And therefore, this change that we're currently undergoing was necessary, is necessary, very, very much necessary. So people, they're gonna be way more losses than gains. So with all them promising and beautiful messages, that's just for a few. Let me just say that. That's just for few. For the majority of mankind, humankind. Let me just say that, or humanity. Let me just say that, and amid the kind. There's gonna be lots of suffering and loss. So that humanity can learn the valuable lesson of balance and greed. Why it's good not to be greedy, okay? And why it's good to be balanced, okay? Some people are greedy where food is concerned. Some people are greedy where money, wealth is concerned. Some it's where properties are concerned. Some it's where sexual partners are concerned. Some it's where clothes and jewelry and uh, perfumes and handbags and clutches are concerned. But whatever the greed may be, this 12-year cycle and overall 3 12-year cycle, 36 years, will take care of all your greeds or all your needs. So either one will be taken care of. So if you're one who are in lack, suffer in lack of good things, and deservingly deserve comfortability, you will receive your needs. But for those who are squanders, okay, and frivolous in whatever way, shape, or form, because Leo, that frequency, y'all got a tendency to be fucking frivolous and wasteful. That's also the black people frequency, who got a propensity to be fucking wasteful. Let me just say, it's a very humbling cycle. And this don't got nothing to do with whether or not you want to learn. You will learn. You will learn or you will die. So it's a very intense, demanding cycle. You see how it forced the COVID-19 onto us. Mm-hmm. For some of you Leos, you are going to experience the dark nights of the soul. You're going to go through a period of depression, of which some of you will come out of, some of you will not, due to the death of someone in your family, someone close to you. This could be the death of a Scorpio, someone who's got Scorpio highly aspected in their natal chart. This is going to trigger for you, Leo, a dark night of the soul. Um, Whether or not this is a punishment from the universe, I don't know. Everything does happen for a reason, though. Sometimes people die and it's not to punish us, it's a blessing for us. How about moving on to the frequency of Sagittarius, okay? Changes in your thoughts. Are these really changes though? Mm-mm. You're gonna be in your feelings for most, if not all, of this year. So you're gonna have lots of thoughts. For some of you, you're gonna be studying this year. Some of you are gonna learn the true value of helping. How is this? Some of you are going to learn the true value of helping. Some of you will be thinking about, traveling this year heavily. I don't know, you could be in a foreign country and you want to get home. So you are really paranoid or worried about that. Some of you could be worrying about dying overseas. Some of you could be worrying about seeing an Aries or never seeing an Aries again. Okay, so this could be your spouse, okay, or this could be your child, okay. For some of you, a lot of astral travel. For some of you, a lot of fantasizing. Like I said, the energy being affected here is your thoughts as well as your routine. So some of you will be traveling a lot this year. For some of you, this is for spiritual work. For some of you, you will be traveling to see a Pisces this year. This could be very often. For some of you, this year is going to spark the beginning, a new beginning rather. Yeah, you're thinking about moving on from something here. So this could be a relationship or a job or a situationship or a child. For some of you, you're going to be thinking uh, a lot about yourself. in an introspective sense. You're going to be analyzing yourself, in other words. Hmm. So, two messages. Some of you are, is this really for the whole year? Your focus is on somebody here, okay? Someone who you want a new beginning with. Or this could be someone you want to marry, or this could be your spouse or your fiance, but your mind is going to be, you know, on this person heavily this year. For some of you, like I said earlier, you're going to be, learning the true value of helping. Like I said, this is a very humbling cycle. And people, lost out long time ago on the importance of helping people and being selfless. For too long, the world was traversing down a path of selfishness, horrid selfishness, in which if you were not in a position to, at the present moment, instant moment, to reciprocate help to people, people pass you by and ignore you as though you don't exist, you don't matter. Well, Spirit has stepped in, and Spirit has decided that things need to change. And so Spirit is effing up people's monies, their jobs, their marriages, their families, their relationships, to humble them. Never you tease someone. Whatever you tease someone about is going to always come right back at you. Especially if you tease the wrong person, like a high priestess or an empress, a true empress. I mean, you fuck, okay? Because for sure, Spirit is going to ensure that you receive that karma, that you pay that karmic debt. So you never tease people. I never took a fancy to that. It was always so obnoxious to me. I don't take a fancy to people who do that. It's lame and pathetic and weak, especially when done to someone who is in a lesser position than you are. When you are above that person or have some form of authority over them, you should treat them all the more nicer. Okay? It is not the other way around. They should treat you all the more nicer. No. So people just really got selfish. And I felt, you know, the blunt of their force many a times. The blunt of their forces rather, because it's many different ways and forms. Or in which when you have so little to nothing, people, they will come out of their way to spit on you, like come out of their way. You're not in their way. But these people are usually unhappy inside, and it is good to be patient. People who mock people over vanity are people who usually do unseemly, unscrupulous things for vanity. And so it makes, everyone has a conscience. Everyone. And that's why most of these killers, they have to, you know, pump themselves up with drugs and stuff like that before they can do these heinous crimes. Because when they do that and that ordeal is over, they supposedly forget, and it's just gonna be fragmented memories. So they are just too weak to actually do them stuff, and on a what you call it, a conscious mind. So they put that conscious mind to sleep, because when they are conscious, they don't want to remember them stuff that they did. So they intoxicate themselves and become, and tap into that subconscious realm, though not at a high plane, or else they would not do them shit. And they do them stuff, and then when they come back down to their low vibrational consciousness, they seemingly have forgotten, and it's just like a movie that they had seen and don't quite remember. So everyone has a conscience, even when you think it not. And so a lot of these people who do unseemly things for wealth and vanity, they can't even sleep at night without drinking themselves to sleep, or shooting themselves up to sleep, or being talked to sleep, or some addiction, or else they cannot sleep or drink to sleep. And some of them they do, and it doesn't help, because the amount of wickedness that they have done has, grown so much that the portion of these drugs that it requires to, you know, dumb down and keep in the shadows the subconscious memories of the wickedness that they did. Because, it requires more and more, to the point in which if they continue, they're going to OD. And so some of these people, they still shoot up, they still drink. But at the end of the day, they still can't sleep. That's the point that I want to say. And so, never you worship money over people. Never you put money over people. Never you choose money over people. Never you sell people for money. Because then shit like this is gonna happen. Mental anguish. It happens to everyone, even the most cruel and wicked sinners, or human beings, or Christians. 'Cause well, sinners are Christians. They're the ones that they, consider to have fallen short of the glory of God. But anyways, I'm seeing where you Sagittarius, you're supposed to be a giver. That's your frequency. That's Jupiter's frequency. You get luck, and so you give luck. To whom much is given, much is expected. Why do you think you're so lucky? That's because you're supposed to help people. That's why you're the traveler, the soldier. You're supposed to walk and help. You're supposed to travel and help. You're supposed to teach, travel and teach, walk and teach, and help. And help comes in all different forms: the tangible form, the mental form, the spiritual form. And that's you, Sagittarius, the teacher, the seeker, and the blesser. And if you're not in that Sagittarius frequency this year, you're going to be sorry. At the end of the year, you're going to be sorry, because the frequencies that you're specifically under, it's different. Listen, your cup of tea is different from Leos and Aries. Okay? It's different. Your cup of tea is plain, black, simple. Okay? You receive, you give. Capiche? Or capiche? Capiche. Capiche. So, let me see if I, can pick up any other messages for Sagittarius, the traveler, the seeker, the blesser. For some of you, you will be traveling to see your baby. Some of you will be traveling to see your spouse in Aries, okay? But for some of you, I'm seeing where it's more like a thought. It's more like what you want to do, but you are unable to do that because we are aware of the travel ban because of the current pandemic. Okay? Some of you are still able to travel from your current destinations. We don't know what the rest of the year will be like. And then again, there are, monetary funds to consider where travel is concerned. And maybe some of you don't have that. So, but whatever the case may be, travel and giving is your message, okay? It's the frequencies that, you know, are the frequencies rather surrounding you 2021, and will continue to surround you. So, thank you, fire signs, for listening. I was hoping this video would have been shorter, but it's still over an hour. Namaste.